Welcome back inside the Pulse Radio Studio down here at Boise State University. You are currently listening to Blue Collar Sports. I'm your co-host, Seth Neal, joined here with co-host Trevor Brennan. We got a great show for you today. If you missed our first segment, it is on Periscope on our Twitter. Go check that out. Check that out at Blue Collar SR. The BC and the S and the R are all capitalized. But right now, we got a great segment for you regarding the NBA, something we've been doing for a couple weeks. We've gone through the top 10 players right now at each position. Have some couple good debates off this one. Cough, small forwards. Go check that one out. But now we are moving into the top 10 NBA centers. We had power forwards last week, which still good players, but not the best. Centers, I would argue, is one of the better positions right now in the NBA. There's a lot of big-time names here. It's going to be fun to break it down.
Absolutely. We've done every position so far, point guard to power forward. Now we're going to do centers, like you said. And then once we get back from break, we're going to be doing top 10 overall players in the NBA, so can't wait for that one. But this one, like you said, some of the better players in the league, and I know both of our lists probably are going to be a little bit different. So maybe very similar to the small forwards. I can't wait to see our differences in this one.
Well, let's get it started. I will start with a couple of my honorable mentions, guys that are not in my list. Yusuf Nurkic, big fan of him. He does not crack my top 10, but he is fun to watch. Big energy guy from Portland. Miles Turner is a guy that I think will crack my list in the next year or two. He's not quite there yet for me. Marc Gasol used to be a top 10 center for me. He's not mine. Hassan Whiteside, got all the characteristics, but he can't seem to put it together, so he doesn't quite make my top 10. And DeAndre Jordan. Round out my honorable mentions with some big-time names there. But now it's time to get inside our top 10.
Absolutely. I'll start with it right now. The one guy I left out that I really wanted to put in was Marc Gasol. Very experienced. He's going to do good stuff in Toronto now. And he definitely was one of the top centers in the league just a few years ago. So shout out to him. He's having a good year. But I'll start off with my number 10 as a guy you do not have on your list. That is Indiana Pacer Miles Turner.
Okay.
I do like him a lot. I watched him in the playoffs last year in his rookie season. Fantastic defensively. He's going to block everything. I really like what he's doing right now. I know there's no Oladipo, but he's really stepping up. He's doing what he can right now for this Pacers team, and they're still playing very well. So Miles Turner, very big energy. They signed him to a big contract, so they believe in him for a lot. When they traded Paul George, they kind of gave the keys to Miles Turner for that town and that team. So I'm very excited for Turner and Oladipo to be that core that Pacers are trying to build around, and I think Turner's a very good building block.
Yeah, he fits the mold of a modern NBA center, that's for sure. Lanky, he could run, he could shoot it, and he blocks a lot of shots. He's a guy that will definitely be on my top 10 probably by next year. But my number 10 guy, and you might have him a little bit high up on your list, but that is Steven Adams. Big fan of Steven Adams. Perhaps the just biggest guy in the NBA. This guy's huge, but you want to talk about a guy that knows his role within an organization. He's not going to do anything out of sight of his role. He's going to set hard screens. He's going to play tough defense inside. He's going to get rebounds, and he's going to be a good teammate who has everyone's back. That's what I love about Steven Adams, the Kiwi from New Zealand. Shout out to my brother if he's watching. I know, big fan down there in New Zealand. But Steven Adams, this guy he embraces his role. I think he's really embraced the city. Everyone loves him. I've never really heard a bad thing about Steven Adams from his teammates or from his competitors, except for maybe Draymond Green. But that's history. But Steven Adams is my number 10 center.
I love that pick, and I got Steven Adams at number 9 for me. I think he plays his role fantastically. He's not going to be the big stat guy. He does average 14 points and 9 rebounds, but he does everything the right way. Fantastic defensively. Down low, he's very good rebounder. I saw when they were playing last night, he got like 4 offensive rebounds in 1 possession, but he's got to be able to put the ball back in the hoop. But Adams, I do like his role a lot. He fits that team perfectly. I think he is a very good teammate. I would definitely want him on my team. I can't wait to see what else he could do in his NBA career because he's doing fantastic so far. But Steven Adams is my number 9 center.
That leads me to my number 9 guy, because it's a guy that's very, very similar to Steven Adams, and that is Al Horford, another guy that really knows his role within this Boston organization. This year, he's kind of seemed to take more of a role of a scorer. I mean, I remember Al Horford in Atlanta, and I would have never thought this dude would be a shooter, but he could shoot it now, he could create, great defender, he's a leader on the court. I think he needs to be more of the Celtics leader than Kyrie Irving. I think he is a leader. And Al Horford, he's number 9. He's never been the most athletic or the most skilled, but He's very, very crafty, and he knows his role, and he embraces that. Al Horford's my number 9.
Yeah, I like Al Horford a lot. That is the guy I left off mine because I had Miles Turner. He definitely was back in the day. And he's definitely, I think, like you said, he's a good leader for that Boston team. And he's doing everything the right way. So I do think that's a great pick. Al Horford's a great center. My number 8 center in the NBA right now is I kind of moved him down. I'm going Clint Capella in this one. For number 8. He's just like most of these guys. He fits the role perfect for Houston. Everybody on Houston's a shooter except Clint Capella. He's down low, getting the rebounds, kicking it back out to those guys. But he's got great work down low too. He could put it in the hoop. He's got good post work, and I think he's a very good energy. Chris Paul's throwing lobs to him every single night. I like Capella a lot. He's one other than Steven Adams, made the second guy as a center that I want on my team that I would build around, and I think he's going to be a good cornerstone for that team. They really need him. We've seen his impact on that team once he's come back from injury. They've really taken off right now, and I think if Houston's going to upset Golden State or make a run, it's going to be because Clint Capella there's no answer for him on Golden State or these other teams.
Yeah, I'll have more on him in just a second. My number 8 guy is Nikola Vucevic, who might be the quietest star on this list. The guy's averaging 20 points per game. Pretty remarkable. Orlando's a game outside of the playoffs, and that is largely because of Nikola Vucevic. First-time All-Star this year. Pretty cool honors to see him get in. But I still don't have him in just because when I look at it, I don't have him high up on my list. Because when I look at a center, I want a guy that's going to defend the rim. That's kind of the one thing he lacks is his defensive ability. That's what I look for in a center. But in terms of scoring and producing, this guy's as good as any of these guys. Nikola Vucevic could score at will. He's number 8 on my list.
Yeah, I'm saying right there for number 7 is Nikola Vucevic for me. Like you said, averaging 20. He's got 12 rebounds a night for him. Like you said, he's a flat-out scorer. That's what Orlando needs right now. They don't really have a go-to scorer right now. Aaron Gordon's very nice, but he's not going to be their scorer. So Vucevic is the kind of player they need, and he's doing very well. He can shoot the ball, good passer, good for a center. So I like the way he plays offensively, defensively, like you said. Could improve, but they got Aaron Gordon for that. They got some other players that they're going to build around. So I like Vucevic. I think he's definitely, like you said, one of the quieter stars. He deserved an All-Star this season. He got that, so fantastic for him. He's number 7 on my list.
My number 7 was your number 8. That is Clint Capella. And when you look at Houston, we talked about it in segment number 1. Again, go check that out if you missed it. But Clint Capella, if Houston's going to beat Golden State, I think it's built around Clint Capella. He is everything that the Warriors fear in a center. A guy that could protect the rim. And he's quick enough where he could guard Durant. He could guard these lanky, quick, explosive guys and really make their day miserable. Defensively, I think he's one of the more underrated players in the NBA. And he knows his role, too. He's not a guy that's going to take shots away from James Harden or Chris Paul. He's going to get those guys open, and he'll clean up anything they mess up. Clint Capella, I think, is the key to the Houston run in the playoffs, and we'll see what happens, but he's number 7 for me.
Very well said. I like everything about that. Number 6 for me is Detroit Pistons Andre Drummond. I have him there. They have one of the top power forwards, Blake Griffin, and now they also have one of the top centers in Andre Drummond, so that's what Detroit's building around right now. And Drummond's been a nice player. I really liked what he's done. I remember when he was very young, they had Greg Monroe, but they gave him out and trusted in Drummond, and that panned out very well. He's a double-double machine. He's going to score. He's going to get rebounds. Defensively, though, little liability. Still, he's nice, but he's not going to be your go-to scorer, and I like that they got Blake Griffin for that. But still, does great stuff down low. Just I need to see more of a energy click for him to be able to turn on during games and take over games. But I like the way he plays, very high energy, and he's very athletic for a center. He could jump out of the room, so I like Drummond a lot, and he plays his role very well.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay right there. Perhaps the best defensive player on this, Andre Drummond. I always say if Drummond played in the 90s or the early 2000s, I think he would have been one of the better players in the NBA. He's kind of an old school big because he's not the fastest guy, but he's going to play physical inside. He's going to eat up offensive rebounds. He's going to get to the free throw line. He's gotten better converting those free throws, which was definitely a huge knack on him for a long time. But Andre Drummond, great teammate. I know him and Blake Griffin get along really well. It's an old school kind of team, and he's at the forefront of that. Andre Drummond, double-double machine, is number 6 for me.
Number 5 for me is one of the best defensive players in the game. That's Rudy Gobert. You might have him a little bit higher than I do, but he's a fantastic player. He really is the tone of that Utah Jazz team. They're gonna play defensively. They're gonna be tough. That's because Rudy Gobert's down low, and you're not gonna get inside on him. And so I like the way he plays. He's doing fantastic this season. He's averaging 15 points, 12 rebounds. So he's going to do his part, and he's also going to be the leader on defense. So we saw firsthand last season how much he impacts the game for this team. And if Utah's going to go far, they need him to convert on both ends of the floor, and Donovan Mitchell do his thing. So I like Gobert a lot. He's number 5 on my list.
Number 5, I'll have more on Gobert in a bit. I like that pick. But number 5 on my list, and it kind of pains me to say it because this guy should be number 1, I believe. That's Karl Anthony Towns. And when Towns came in, I remember one of our first debates ever was Towns or Embiid. Who's the next future center?
I think we both have someone.
You
I think we know the winner.
I would say you won that debate because, I mean, when I remember Towns was one of my favorite prospects I've ever seen coming out of college. The guy, 7-footer that can do everything. He can handle it. He's quick. He has all the tools to be an elite defender, but it's up here. It's up in the mind, and I'm not saying he's mentally weak. I haven't seen him flip that switch yet, where he's going to go after you and he's going to get the job done. He's going to put up good stats. He kind of reminds me of DeMarcus Cousins, who I actually, looking at now, I believe is left off both of our lists.
Cousins not on my list.
But yeah, I mean he's the 5th best player on his team. That's probably a big reason. But Karl Anthony Towns is starting to kind of remind me of that, a guy you watch. And man, this guy could dominate games, but he's not a leader, and I'm not going to call him a winner yet. So it pains me to say Karl Anthony Towns, great talent, great numbers, he can do everything, but I think he should be a top 3 player. He's number 5 on my list.
I got Karl Anthony Towns at number 4 on mine. He is averaging 24 points a game, 12 rebounds, but like you said, he can get the points, he can get all these stats, but he doesn't impact the game in a way that they can win games. And so until he's able to figure that out, I don't know if he's going to move up much higher on my list either. But Karl Anthony Towns, he could do everything the right way. He could score, rebound, pretty nice defensively too. But like we both said, I don't know if his impact on the team in the game is as big as it should be for some of these other players to win games, even though his stats are very good. So right. I like Karl Anthony a lot. But I do think there's a next step for him if he wants to get up to the top.
I just want to see him flip that switch. Number 4 for me is Nikola Jokic, the center for the Denver Nuggets. And, I mean, Nikola Jokic, when I watch him, he reminds me of the modern era Marc Gasol. The way he moves the ball, the way he gets everyone involved. It's pretty rare for a center to make everyone around you better. Centers are normally just there to protect the rim, run the floor, get rebounds, get physical. But Nikola Jokic's a guy that the offense runs through him. He controls his Denver Nugget team, and they have the 4th best record in the NBA right now. So it's pretty remarkable the stuff he's done, and he's still young. He's still under 25. He's on that top players under 25 list, I believe. So the guy could flat out play triple-double alert every single night, and that's pretty tough to do for a center. But he just controls the game. I'm excited to see where he takes his game and where he takes his next step because he's still young. He's number 4 for me.
Yeah, I got Jokic at number 3 on my list. Like you said, very young, still developing, but he is that Denver Nuggets team. Everything runs for him, like you said. And I've never really seen a center that could be that triple-double alert every single night. He's a fantastic passer. He can score and get the rebounds. So he does everything the right way, and you never really hear of him. But that's also a good thing. He's doing his business. He's leading this team that's very young, that is way ahead of schedule. So that's great to see. And that's why I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to Jokic or even this Nuggets team. But once they make some noise in the playoffs, hopefully, then they're going to be on high alert, and Jokic is going to be in consideration of one of the better players in the league.
Yeah, he was kind of up there for MVP for a little bit this year. I'd say he's top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty remarkable season. More to come from him. My number 3 guy, you got him at number 5. That's Rudy Gobert. Talk about underrated players. Rudy Gobert defines that. Should have been an all-star. He got snubbed on that. But this guy controls the Utah Jazz. Donovan Mitchell's their scorer. He's their flashy player. Their young star. But Rudy Gobert, it runs through him. Talk about a guy that also knows his role. His offense has grown. That was his big weakness, was he had no offense. He couldn't post up, do that, but his offense has grown. He's averaging, I believe, like 14 point something points per game right now, and over 15 rebounds and over 2 blocks. So this guy could literally do it all. If I'm driving to the rim, he's the last person I want to see in front of me. Rudy Gobert is my number 3 player.
Great pick there. Number 2 on my best centers is Anthony Davis of the New Orleans Pelicans. I have him at number 2. That kind of sets up for number 1 right now. But number 2, Anthony Davis, obviously he's a great player, should be playing in LA. He's been off and on with his injury this season so far. He is an all-star. But Anthony Davis, I like him a lot. He's better than Karl Anthony Towns, but still I haven't really seen him win. I know they impressed me last season in the playoffs. That was his first big step
against Portland.
But I want to see him. That's why I really wanted the Lakers trade to pan out, because I want to see him on a contending team. That team I thought could have been a contending team if it worked out. But
Easy now.
Anthony Davis, I just haven't seen enough yet of him doing something impactful. I know his stats are fantastic, 26 and 12. He's done well in the playoffs, but still, I want to see him take that next step, and I don't think that team is the Pelicans.
I'm surprised to see you put him at number 2. I'm going to have more on him in a bit. My number 2 guy, who I'm guessing is your number 1 guy, Joel Embiid, another guy that's in the MVP conversation, put up huge numbers. I didn't realize until the other day he's 5th in the NBA in scoring.
You don't see that for centers anymore.
You do not see that from centers. And talk about a guy that's a presence down low. I mean, he could do it all. He's a character too. He likes to have his fun, that's for sure. I'm still not a big believer in Philly, but that's more because of Ben Simmons than it is because of Joel Embiid. I do like Embiid more, but he's number 2 for me, and I think in the next year or two he'll be the number 1 center and one of the best players in the NBA if he isn't already.
That's absolutely where I leave off right now. I have number 1. I have Joel Embiid. He's averaging 27 and 13. I know he's missed some games. That he is still on his resting schedule that he has been before, but he's playing a lot more now. And talk about having an impact on games. Some of these other guys, we don't know if they have impacts on the games as much, but this guy can do everything. He's gonna score on you, and he's gonna defend you and swat the ball away. You're gonna know he's on the court every time he's playing. He has a huge impact on the team, and if Philadelphia is going to go far, he's going to be their best player. Ben Simmons got to do his part. Jimmy Butler's got to do his, but Joel Embiid's got to make an impact on every single game. And if he's able to do that, I think this Philly team could go far. And Joel Embiid, I think, has overtaken Anthony Davis, in my opinion, for the number 1 center in the league. And I think he is even going to go even more once he start playing every single night and not on this rest schedule he's on. But Joel Embiid, I think, is going to be one of the best centers that I've ever seen in time right now.
It's looking like he's really modernized the NBA centers. But my number 1 guy is Anthony Davis because of his all-around package. He can shoot. He can dribble as a point guard in high school. He hit a growth spurt, so that's where you see those handles. And, of course, his blocked shots and his incredible athleticism. I think he really did take a step last year in the playoffs where they swept Portland without DeMarcus Cousins. That was pretty remarkable. This year, obviously, a disappointment, kind of a weird year. Of course, with the whole trade deadline thing. If he'd gone to LA, do you think they'd make the playoffs?
Oh, absolutely.
If he went at the deadline, even if they gave up all those guys that they were potentially offering?
The reason they're not is because their chemistry is not working. The chemistry would not be there. It'd be something different if he was in that team.
I'd want to see what their lineup would be because they were going to be trading everyone. But Anthony Davis obviously has a huge impact. Very interesting offseason ahead for him. Can't wait to see how that plans out. But his all-around package, he is my number 1 center in today's NBA.
Great stuff. That is our top 10 current NBA centers. Number 10 for me, I had Miles Turner. 9, I had Steven Adams. 7, Clint Capella, or 8, Clint Capella. 7, Nikola Vucevic. 6, Andre Drummond. 5, Rudy Gobert. 4, Karl Anthony Towns. 3, Nikola Jokic. 2, Anthony Davis. And number 1 center, Joel Embiid. And Seth, you had?
Yeah, that was Travis. I had number 10, Steven Adams. Number 9, Al Horford. Number 8, Nikola Vucevic. Number 7, Clint Capella. 6, Andre Drummond. 5, Karl Anthony Towns. 4, Nikola Jokic. 3, Rudy Gobert. 2, Joel Embiid. And 1, Anthony Davis. So definitely some similarities. Definitely some differences. But right around the corner now, we got our top 10 current NBA players, all positions
That'll be
included.
different right there.
Can't wait to hear that. That is going to be very different, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, the point guard for center's been fantastic. What was your biggest takeaway from my list out of any positions heading into the best players?
Biggest takeaway, we're about to go into break, so I know it's going to spark a debate. The biggest takeaway is you're not willing to admit that LeBron's giving up his crown and he is not the king anymore. He's not even... that might be an over-exaggeration. I didn't even have him top 3 at his position, but I don't think he's the best in the NBA anymore.
Yeah, that's... well, I'm not going to get into it right now, but that was my biggest takeaway of yours, that you still don't have him in near the top, but I know we'll save that for our top 10 current players overall because that will be another debate.
Today was a surprise, though. I thought for sure you'd have Anthony Davis.
I like Anthony,
I know you like Joel, and you really like Philly.
JaVale's been fantastic, and I think he's overtaking the reins.
Yeah, he's going to have to spark things. I don't think Ben Simmons is going to do it come playoff time. But that is our top 10 NBA centers. We are heading off to break. Big time NFL news coming up for you. Stay tuned. You're listening to Blue Collar Sports.